Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dust Leaves, and you're listening to the VGDS podcast with BonesZ06,
Hey, how's it going?
DanCavDragon,
Hello, everyone.
and new Captain Frugal.
Hello, everybody.
A little fun in there.
First segment is Sleeve It or Leave It. First title is River City Ransom EX. Dan, sleeve it or leave it.
I would sleeve this one. River City Ransom is a pretty good game, and back on the NES, it was a great game. So I see no reason why not to sleeve it on the Game Boy Advance.
Bones, sleeve it or leave it.
I don't think so. Not gonna happen.
Captain Frugal.
I'm going to sleeve this one. I like it. I think it's a fun game. I've always enjoyed it. It's one I can still go back to anytime today. Now, I have to admit, I've never beat this one. I just dabble in it once in a while and then never get any farther.
Hey, Dan, have you beat this game? Or have you not played?
A long time ago, I think. I don't think the Game Boy, but the NES, I played that one quite a bit. I'm curious why Bones doesn't like this one. Is it because of the game, or is it just because it's a Game Boy Advance game?
I've never played it, so
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not
he's
gonna
biased.
say it. I also I think I have 3 or 4 advanced games in my whole collection. That's it. I'm not handhelds, so for me, anytime a handheld comes up, unless it's going to be Doom, maybe Wolfenstein, throw those up there. I'm going to say yes, but nah, I don't collect them, so I will not be sleeving that.
I see.
Okay. So now we have a new way to connect to the podcast per se, and thank you to Melissa. Her name is Melmissa97 on Instagram. There's a new way to get in contact and try to put in a vote. So on Instagram, in her story, there was a vote for Sleeve It or Leave It, and for River City Ransom, it was 4 votes, 1 Bones, 1 Shimbo Jack, and 1 was Everything Retro. And they all voted no. And of course, I'm going to vote yes for all my sleeves. Sorry. so I'm a little biased, I guess, But yeah, that's the new addition to the podcast. Melmissa97 on Instagram. If you want to follow her, go right ahead. She's going to have it in her story, as well as myself and Dan and Bones will probably eventually start doing polls in their stories for the podcast. So it's a new way to connect. The next title is Ristar for the Sega. Captain Frugal, would you sleeve it or leave it?
I only dabbled in this game very little, and I can't even say I remember it much. So I'm going to leave this one.
Wow. Bones, sleeve it or leave it.
Man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with no.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I even voted no.
Dan,
I voted no.
Dan,
I
please
don't-
sleeve this game.
I would sleeve it because it is a Sega Genesis game, but I am on the fence about the game itself. Like, it's not something that I loved.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I've played it before. I think it's
Wow.
on isn't it like
Am
on
I-
the
am I-
Sega Genesis Mini or something?
Am I the only one that actually likes this game? This game is a great platformer.
I'm not-
To be fair,
I'm
I
not
haven't given it a lot.
hating. Nah, I just want the box for it. I don't need the sleeve. I want the actual outside plastic shell. I'd get
Well,
that
actually,
possibly.
Bones, this is not a plastic shell.
Or a cardboard box.
This is a cardboard box.
Okay. That doesn't matter. I want the authentic box. I'm sorry. I changed my whole goal on how I collected my Genesis, so that kind of changed
It nicks my
the way I do
sleeves.
it.
That's what it did. It nicks the sleeves.
Well, I want the box.
Well, actually,
I'm sorry.
the funny
Call
thing,
me a snob if you
the
need
funny,
to,
the funny
but I
thing
want
is,
the box.
the funny thing is about this Ristar game. I actually have it CIB, and it's a pricey title. It's not a cheap game. So I will be sleeving the actual whole box in 3D because this is one of my most expensive games I have in my collection. So It will be getting a 3D sleeve soon, and Bones, you might want that.
If I ever acquire the game, I haven't played that either.
Yeah, it's a bit on the pricey side. I can't exactly remember how much it is, but
like $200 or something like that.
yeah, it's pricey for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't have this actually, so if I
uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
200 is too rich for my blood. I don't know.
I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment on that.
I think the
Everything
most
I want's
expensive
like 200.
What's that?
I think the most expensive Genesis game I have is Contra Hardcore.
What's that like? That's like a $200, $300, or $400 game or something like that.
Well, I think it's 120 maybe. It's complete in box.
Yeah, same with mine. Mine's complete. This Ristar game's complete. I actually really like the game. It's a pretty decent platformer. And the polls for this one: 3 yes, 1 no, and Bones voted no. Yes, he voted no.
I told you. Yeah, and the only thing is, like, I can't say that it's not for every game, because there are games that I will sleeve and still put inside the shell. I do that with my Master System. I want the box, but I still put a sleeve on a lot of the cartridges. So I will sleeve it and put it in the clamshell, but just for the Genesis, no, I don't feel the need to.
You will 3D sleeve one of your Genesis games. I'm gonna make it happen.
Eventually I will. I'm sure of that.
All right, next title: Cruising the World for N64. Bones, literally.
I have to go with yes because I haven't seen Yes, I will sleeve this. I will sleeve every single 64 game.
Fun fact: Bones already sleeved every single 64 game. All right, Dan, sleeve or leave it.
Yeah, I would sleeve this. This is a game. There's like several of these in a series, right? Cruising World and
Yeah, they just came out with a new one.
yeah. So I'm trying to. My N64 collection isn't that great, and so I'm trying to fill in some of those holes with these titles. So yeah, I would sleeve these for sure.
Captain Frugal.
I'd sleeve this one as well. You know, I like race car games, and man, that Nintendo 64 is expensive right now. So definitely keep it safe, cover it up.
Protection. Very,
That's right.
very, very true. And the poll for that was 3 yes, 1 no, and the person that voted no was Shinbo Jack. So, all right, the last title is The Matrix Path of Neo for the Xbox. Bones, sleeve or leave it.
Hell no.
Dan.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't think I don't keep sleeve Xbox games that much, or so no.
Captain Frugal.
I'd have to leave this one. I've never even played it, this one, so I have to pass on this one.
And on Discord, I mean on Instagram, the poll was 2 no, 2 yes, and one of the yeses was me, obviously, and the other yes was everything retro. So,
am I missing something? Is this a good game? Or
That's what I was gonna say. I was hoping to hear if somebody.
honestly, I don't really know anything about this game, so I can't respond. Bones, anything?
I don't know anything about it.
Nobody knows about this game. There you go. There's your answer. Nobody in here knows about this game. We can find out later.
Yeah, I got this from that comic shop at the buy 2 get 1 free deal, and I just haven't played it.
I can understand that. I've got a couple hundred sitting behind me I haven't touched yet.
Yeah, so do I. It's crazy.
Yeah, we still buy the next one.
Yeah, that won't ever stop happening. Unfortunately, it's an addiction. You you look at your wall and you're like, I don't have nothing to play, and there's 200 games there.
Mine's the opposite. I actually look at them, and it takes me a week to pick the next game to play because it's like, well, what do I want to play next? It's like, well, I could this one or this one because I like to play one at a time. So my son makes fun of me for that. He's like, Dad, why do I play one at a time? It's like, because that's all I can remember the buttons for.
I was gonna say, there's nothing wrong with that. One at a time is perfect because like you'll forget the buttons, you'll forget where you're at. That's the best way to do it. Play through one all the way, and then you can go to the next one. That's my advice anyway. So I want to thank Melissa again, and her Instagram account is melmissa97. She's a fantastic artist, so if you're looking for art, reach out to her. She's very, very good with the pen, the pencil, pad. She does it on a tablet even, so if you want digital art, she can do that. All right, on to the next segment, which is Guess That Box Art, and this is a special edition. It's my wife picked these games. So, it's VGDS's wife. So, first title. Any guess, Bones?
Well, I put what I...
Yeah, you put on the thing. I'll say that. All right, so, again, with Melissa, she did not only Salute or Leave, but she also did Guess That Box Art. You could put a guess on her Instagram story. So, Bones actually, he did guess. He guessed Space Attack, and that is not right.
I don't even know what that game is. I just made up a name.
So that is not correct. So, and there was 2 other responses in there. One was mine because I was just fooling around. I said, I wonder. And then Everything Retro, he guessed, I have no idea. LOL. So, Dan, would you like to give it a shot?
You know, I was about to give you a hard time because I thought this was Sky Gunner. But
That is not Sky Gunner.
Yeah, we just did that in a previous podcast, and I was like, how come he did it again? And then I'm like, no, I don't think that's it, actually. So
that is not Sky Gunner.
So
come on, Dan. I'm pretty organized. I usually don't.
Yeah, but this art looks like that. That totally looks like this should be on that box art, but it's not. So no, I don't have a guess. I feel like I've seen this before, but
I'll narrow it down for you in a minute. Captain Frugal, you have a guess?
I really don't. So I'm just gonna go with the wild one and go Snoopy versus the Red Baron, which is a fantastic game, I might add.
Darn, how did you know? No. All right, so I'll narrow it down a little bit. Atari 2600 is the console. So does that help?
Ooh. Okay. That means I should run over to my shelf and look.
Be my guest. Does that help Dan at all?
You know what? I think it is one of those Sears games, right? The black variants, right? Is that probably right?
Possibly.
Because I don't recall seeing this on like one of the regular Atari boxes, so it must be some alternate box art for. Is it Target Fun or Target Shooting or something like that?
No. Bones, are you totally clueless?
Air Sea Battle.
No.
Fishing Derby.
All right. I'll give you another one. I'll give you another hint. Since Bones said air is in the title. It's the first word.
Well, we know it's not asteroids.
Air Raid.
Air.
What'd you say, Bones?
Air Raid? I don't know.
Yep, that was it. Air Raid.
Oh wow.
Is it really?
Yep.
Darn it! I should have looked over at my shelf.
I told you to look at it, guy.
I would have felt like I was cheating.
Be my guest. I've had people look it up online when we were doing these things.
No, it's terrible.
There's a reason why I don't think I would have seen that, because that's like the most expensive Atari game out there.
Yeah, that's why I guessed it. It's like one of the
well,
holy
Dan,
grails.
think about it. How often do I put something that's common? Like it's usually some like off the wall game, yeah.
Yeah, like I've never seen this box before. Even.
Oh, maybe I don't have that game. I'm gonna have to check my video.
If you do, sell it, or it goes for like $30,000.
Holy crap! I'm looking right now to see if I have it in here.
Yeah, I think it's the holy grail of the Atari 2600. I think
And
it's the stadium events for Atari.
Okay, so
I do not have that one. Darn it!
So how did your wife pick this part?
Actually, I'm not quite sure. I have to ask her like how she got it.
She does her research.
Think somebody will trade it for a copy of E.T.?
Did you find it? Did you find it at a dump?
I'll match your ET with a Donkey Kong.
You know, they're
I have
actually,
Donkey Kong.
believe it or not, there's actual another title called Extraterrestrial. It's another Atari title. It's not ET. It's just Extraterrestrial.
Oh,
Spelled out.
I'll take your Donkey Kong and match you with Double Dragon for the 2600.
Oh man!
All right, so the next title. Any guesses? The next image, Dan.
You know, it's got a Pepsi can on it, right? And I think I only know there's like Pepsi Invaders is the only game I know that has that on there. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Pepsi
All right.
Invaders.
Oh yeah, see, yeah.
So there was 4 people that guessed this through the poll, and one was Bones. Bones, you guessed Pepsi Man. You were close.
That's really what I know of.
That's the one where you're shooting the word Pepsi, isn't it, or something like that?
I think
Like Space Invaders knockoff?
Yeah, I think
you're
it's
shooting cans. I think, right?
I don't know. I never heard of it.
Anyway,
Oh no.
the other person, Everything Retro, he also guessed Pepsi Man. Go figure. And then our last guy got it right. Shimbo Jack guessed Pepsi Invaders. So,
Nice.
congrats, Shimbo Jack. Again, thank you to Melissa for doing this. And now we're on to Bones. Logo sleeve of the month.
All right. This month's logo sleeve goes to our guest, Captain Frugal.
Woo!
Yeah. So
Look
if you're
at that
looking,
guy's sexy.
look at
Only
that
in
sleeve.
animation.
That's a beautiful sleeve.
That's right.
I get that's going to be another one that's going to be added onto my pickup list.
Man,
Always
that's a
with those
long,
sleeves.
long
I
list you
know.
got going.
It's ridiculous. It's a long, long list. And I have a question for you, Captain.
All right.
What game would you recommend people have in your sleeve?
Captain America for the NES.
Huh?
Highly underrated game.
Captain America and a Captain Frugal sleeve.
That's right.
No.
For the NES, not the Super NES one. If you're going to go with the Captain America The Avengers, which is a completely different game, I'd go with the Genesis version over the Super Nintendo version.
Well, either way, if anybody wants Captain Frugal on any sleeve, it's possible. So if you want a Sega, you want a Super NES, you want Atari, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the NES Captain America game, completely different game, quite a fun game. Side-scrolling, beat 'em up, use Captain America or Hawkeye. Sort of the like Mario 3 kind of layout where you have a map, you choose where you're gonna go, and then go through that section. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you for the insight. And all proceeds go to Captain Frugal.
That is correct. Anytime Captain Frugal's sleeve is purchased, Captain Frugal will get proceeds.
I'm rich.
All right, and then we'll move on to franchise of the month next.
All right. For franchise of the month, we pick a franchise and discuss it. And this month, I chose Star Fox. And I pulled as many titles as I could think of in the Star Fox franchise. I actually have to admit, I was a little surprised. I didn't realize there were so many Star Fox titles. I only tend to think of like 2 when I think of the Star Fox series, but there's actually quite a few. So we'll just go around and see what people's thoughts, impressions, or opinions are about Star Fox. So Bones, take it away. What do you think about Star Fox?
As far as the franchise goes, on my end, I honestly, Dan, I didn't realize there was this many Star Fox games either. I have only ever played the Super Nintendo and some of the 64 one. I honestly like the Super Nintendo one better. I don't know, maybe more nostalgia than the 64 one. I enjoyed them, but not really as much as I think most other people did. Like, that kind of is a cult game to some people. They love the Star Fox series, but I don't know much about it. The only other one that I even have is the Zero. So that one I haven't even played. So I have no insight on that one. But Star Fox on Super Nintendo is a great game. The 64 one I only dabbled with, and the other ones, nope, I have not played. But I do like the Super Nintendo one.
All right. How about you, Captain Frugal? Are you a fan of the Star Fox?
A bit. I have 4 of them. Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, I remember playing that one. I really, really enjoyed it and loved it. So much that I got it on the 64, and I really enjoyed it on the 64 as well. Except for that Toad. I really like to shoot, what is it, Slippy or whatever? He was annoying. I have Star Fox Adventures. I haven't played it yet. And I have Star Fox, I believe it's 0 on the Wii U. Whatever one it is on the Wii U.
Yep.
Bundle. I haven't played it either yet. So.
Yeah.
Yep, Dust Collector.
It might end up being. I actually try to get through my games. I have a list here that I make a list each year of the games I beat. My goal is to beat more games than I buy.
Okay.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
Now, flipping doesn't count though. I mean, the ones I actually keep. I enjoy the series.
Cool. And Chris.
Well,
Tell me you played a Star Fox game at least.
Dan, I have to disappoint you. I never played Star Fox. I never had it. I never had it as a kid. I still do not have it today.
Wow.
Never played Star Fox. I've seen it. I never played Star Fox 64. Star Fox 2, I know it only came out on the mini, right?
Yeah.
I do have the mini, but I didn't play the game. I didn't. So, I do have Star Fox 0 for the Wii U, but
I thought so.
I haven't played it. It's still, like, I don't think I think it's still in the wrap, to be honest with you. So yeah, never played Star Fox, Dan. It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know everybody considers this game like one of the, like Bones was saying, one of the bigger titles, I guess, for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, Star Fox, the original one on the SNES, that was the first game to use that FX chip. So I remember it was really hyped in all the magazines and stuff.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I did see like all the advertisements. I drooled on it. I wanted to have it as a kid. I just, my parents couldn't afford stuff, so.
And I remember, like, they had it at Electronics Boutique or whatever store it was back in the day on the TV in the window. So you walk in the mall, so you walk by, and I remember seeing it on the TV. And so yeah, I bought it on day one, and it's funny because I brought it home, and it was with that new FX chip doing the polygon. That was like the first time they were really going to polygon graphics. And I brought it home and I was playing it, and my dad was there, and he was watching me play. He goes, "Why are these graphics so bad?" Because it was polygon 3D for the first time. It was really blocky looking.
Right. That's hilarious.
He's used to see me play Mario and stuff like that, and Metroid, and then he sees this polygon stuff, and he's like, "Why are these graphics so bad?" I said, "No, it's this technology is really good. It's like it's just scaling these polygons and stuff in real time." He didn't think so, but anyway, so that was a step forward to, like, 3D graphics, I guess. Star Fox 64 was more polished. It wasn't as ugly as Star Fox. So even though Star Fox 1 was ugly, it still was fun to play. I thought it still was a really good shooter. And Star Fox 2 came on the mini. It was an unfinished prototype, and people have over the years, did hacks and homebrews of this game trying to get it out there. But it was legitimately released on the mini. And Star Fox Adventures was actually it's not a flying around game. It's actually you play Fox and you're running around it's almost like a Zelda action RPG type thing, and that got really good reviews back in the day. So it was a pretty good game. And then
I'd like to say you guys all make me feel old because my playing with Star Fox is I didn't have it. My girlfriend had it, which is now my wife, But yeah, that was wow, back in what, like 93, I think, or something like that. So I was a young man at the time.
Yeah. The funny thing is, we're usually the older ones, so you're the older one.
I'm the resident old fart.
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah. And then the newer versions of it going from the GameCube, I haven't played that much yet. Yeah, and I think some of these are like 3DS is like a rehash of the 64, so I didn't really spend a lot of time with those. But yeah, no, there's a lot of Star Fox out there if you're a fan of the series. But yeah, that's it. So
All right,
that wraps it up for Franchise of the Month.
all right. So now it's time to get to know Captain Frugal, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you collect, what you play, things of that nature, and tell us about your YouTube channel because obviously you do YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, Captain Frugal. You can find me on YouTube as Captain Frugal, as well as Facebook and Twitter. Though I do not participate a whole lot on social media. I put up something here and there. I like positivity. I try to stay out of the drama, as it is. But there's a lot of great people around here, and that's my favorite part. It's one reason I do YouTube. And that's because the great people I get to connect and talk to, like this today. This is what I enjoy about YouTube, this and having fun. I also do this with my son. Sometimes my daughter will pitch in and do a video with me too. So we have a whole family of gamers here.
Nice.
My wife and I both game. Our kids game. So when you say, what do we buy and collect? Well, almost, we got a lot. I mean, we've got Commodore 64, Atari 2600, 7800, Dreamcast, Genesis. I used to have a Sega Master System. I was stupid and sold that. I regret that. Xbox 360. I don't have the newest Xbox though. I think I have all the PlayStations. Yeah, I do. All the PlayStations, Wii U, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo. We have a ton. We just, because I don't like getting rid of them, we keep them all. And so the kids play them too, which is amazing. I think a lot of people don't realize the game doesn't have to have the greatest graphics to be fun. I mean, we still sit there and play the Atari 2600, and things like that. So we play it all. So, and we really enjoy doing it. So it's sort of a family get together and see who could do the best, and then get embarrassed when my son beats me on something.
Yeah, you're like the first person that actually came in here and said your whole family games. Like, it's really rare to have a gaming family, but that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, my wife just bought some Zelda game today.
Yeah, and like the collecting must be at large because both of you are looking, and besides your kids, that's what you really concentrate on as a hobby. So, like, that means it keeps coming in.
Yeah, well, I have another hobby too, which I've spent a lot of money in. I won't lie there. We have a very big video game collection. I'll say that we have a game room, and things. I haven't got my game collection updated because my wife's bought some I haven't put in there. But we buy ours I don't pay any of the money out of my paycheck for our games and stuff. I use it in my secondary businesses and stuff, so that helps fund it. My other hobby is music. I actually, when I had my daughter, I gave it up because I was like, okay, because at the time I was working a full-time job, running a part-time job, running my recording studio. It was just too much going on, so. And that was like 6 years ago when I had my daughter, and I just about 3 weeks ago said, you know what, I'm getting back into this again. I missed it, so I'm picking up the instruments and playing around in my recording studio, having more fun again, and seeing how behind and how sloppy I've gotten over the years.
Nice. So you do? Do you have your own band, or is it just like?
I used to. Yeah, I used to do the band thing. I had some record label buzz going and things. I was endorsed artist for a company too, but it was just the traveling, gigging life is not for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have a family, it's kind of hard to do both.
Exactly. So then I started focusing more on the recording side and doing things like that. So I started doing running my project recording studio, and I did some commercial work, radio sweepers and stuff for companies and things too. And as I said, it was just too much. I dropped it. Yeah, jingles, a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool.
And so I just got back into it. It's like, holy cow, so much of the tech has changed in just 6 years. So now I'm setting up a new DAW, digital audio workstation compared to my other one, and seeing what I can do. It's pretty fun. And a lot of learning.
So,
Wow.
gaming wise, what do you collect the most? What do you like playing the most?
Oh, I really can't say. I'm all over the place. I shuffle it around.
Do you gravitate to anything more than anything else, though? Like, is there something you gravitate to more? Like,
well, I can tell you what I don't gravitate to.
all right, that's good. Tell me what you
that
don't.
might be the easier way.
Yeah, it would be. What do you not gravitate to?
RPGs, because they just take too freaking long. I'll never get through
Okay.
it. Like I have Skyrim on the shelf. I don't think I'll ever play it because as long as I hear it takes the beat, it's like I will never get through this. I like to play one game at a time, and I don't know. As I said, I keep a list. I think I'm maybe at like 30 something games this year so far, which I think is pretty decent. But I mean, literally, I'm over. One day I'll play Atari, the next day I'll try to beat a Nintendo game. This year I think I've done a lot more PlayStation 2 than anything.
Yeah, the great thing about retro titles is that they don't take that long to complete usually. So, like anything like Atari 2600, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, they're usually a few hour game and then you're done.
Yeah, I beat one today, but on the PlayStation 4, but that was a short one. It was only like a 4-hour game. So.
Yeah, typically like all these newer games, they take a lot longer. They're a lot more involved. So.
Exactly. I mean, I literally am all over the place. I mean, this year I beat Ultimate Alliance 2, Alien vs. Predator on the arcade, Battlefield 4, Disney Castle of Illusion. I mean, Blood and Bacon. So I mean, Manhunt 2. I mean, all over the place.
Hey, Manhunt 2. Stay tuned for horror.
Harvey Birdman. So I'm all over the place. Oh, Final Fight for the game. Final Fight 1 for the Game Boy Advance, Stevens.
So you do play handhelds then? That was my next question. Are you in the handhelds?
Yeah, we have those too. We have, right from the original Game Boy, every version up. We have the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation Vita, which I wish they would have given that thing more love. That thing is fantastic, but yeah, we have a ton. I almost had a Game Gear, but it didn't work, which I got it for free, so that's okay. I still haven't had much luck finding a Nomad for a good price either, but oh well.
All right, Bones, questions?
Well, good luck finding a Nomad at a good price. I don't think we're going to see that happen anytime soon, unfortunately. 'Cause I'd love to have one too, and I don't think I would ever find one at a good price.
I tell you, I got lucky. I got that Game Gear for free, even though it was broken. I turned around and sold it, I think, for $60 or something like that. Maybe even more. I'd have to check.
It could have been the capacitors in it that were bad. They can be changed out. If you know what you're doing or want to spend the time, it's worth it to get it. People give me stuff for free, I'll fix it. That's usually the way I get it. I like it.
I asked somebody, and they said since it didn't even power up and stuff, they didn't think it was going to possibly be the capacitor, so it said it'd be a pretty big risk. So I said, okay, well, I'll sell it and try to get another one. But good to know. I'll keep you in mind next time.
Sure, what the hell? I'll work on it. But what would
I
you say?
fixed some stuff.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing. You should always try to. We got to save these things before they get just thrown out and they disappear for good.
Yeah.
What would you say your kids gravitate towards more with you? Modern games or more of the retro?
My boy would be modern games. He's into that Fortnite like nobody's business, and he enjoyed Cuphead a lot. And Undertale, you played through that, though that's sort of an interesting take. My girl, she's still playing. She's only 6, so she's still playing more littler games. She played like Dora Explorer, but she's playing on her Switch. She likes games on the Switch like Kirby and stuff like that. So she might be a little more modern. And then my wife is like me, all over the place. She'll play Commodore 64 one day, and then she's playing her Switch the next.
Keeps a good variety. Like I always tell everybody, we have our own rentals. We can do what we want. We don't have to go to the Blockbuster that don't exist anymore. We have it. Do you like to use the accessories like guitars, steering wheels?
Well, yes and no. I not the guitars and stuff because I'd rather pick up a real one. So I'll grab one of my real guitars. But otherwise, yes, the steering wheel. I love breaking out the steering wheel and playing driving games. I love gun games, on-rail shooters. So I've got a ton of guns, so we can just go gun crazy on multiple different platforms. You know, I've got them for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. I play them on the PlayStation 3, like House of the Dead series. Great.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have to say I'm a little, you know, as long as it actually adds to it. I mean, I don't give a crap for like the let's hook a fake tennis racket piece of plastic onto the Wii. You know that.
No, I agree with you. You how stupid we look when we would do that. Or the baseball bat one. Do you really need to put that on? No, you don't.
But I do love a good steering wheel and a good gun.
Nice. Do you gravitate at all towards like oddities? Is that something you look for when you retro hunt?
You know, I just look for whatever I think is going to be fun to play. If I think it looks good and worth a shot, I give it a shot. So, you know, I don't go, oh my goodness, I want this special edition expensive thing, or I don't.
No.
I just go with what I'm going to play. I don't think I'm ever going to go for a complete set of everything. I just buy what we might want to play.
Nice. Have you ever played the Hyperscan?
Good Lord, no. I've seen it. I have passed that up, and I'm thankful I did.
I had to ask. I'll pass it off then.
Yeah, I have some Atari flashbacks and other things, but you know, little ones like that just for convenience. But yeah, Hyperscan, I ran from that.
Oh man, I'm trying to still get one in my collection.
I wouldn't mind getting that the 3D what was that?
3DO.
The Nintendo made that the one that failed, that all red.
Oh, the Virtual Boy.
Oh, Virtual Boy.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting one of those, and another one I you know, originally I thought I wanted was a TurboGrafx 16, but I never got a hold of it. They just seem so expensive.
Yeah, I got mine when it was like still at a decent price. I got it for like $50, so that wasn't terrible. Now it's up there in price. I think it's over $100 for one.
Yeah, so I'd have to find it cheap. That's my price. I'm cheap. If you haven't figured that out yet.
No, we all like to be cheap. Unfortunately, sometimes we can't be cheap if we really want something. You end up having to pay it or trade.
I will say we've got some expensive games, and I've been very fortunate. I mean, for example, we've got Earthbound complete in box.
Oh, nice.
A lot of them. Super Mario RPG complete in box. So we've got some pretty good bangers, you know.
Yeah.
Metroid
sounds
Prime.
nice.
So you know, as I said, one of the things is my wife is really good about picking out obscure games to get that end up being worth a lot of money. She rubs that in all the time. So, like this Game Boy game, Return of the Ninja. I mean, this is a Game Boy Color game. Didn't look anything fancy. She picked it up. It's like $240-something game now. It's like, are you kidding me for Return of the Ninja?
You're never gonna let that one down.
Well, no, I'm thankful. I mean, she picks out great picks. Like she picked out Haunting Ground, and I never heard of it. I was like, "What's Haunting Ground?"
Yeah.
And it's like that's a great game, and it's over $300. I'm like, bravo! I'm glad you picked that one out.
Yeah.
And she introduced me to the Clock Tower series, and so we got a bunch of those, and those are not cheap either. So we're very fortunate.
Okay, well, Dan, you can take it away from there.
All right, yeah, I think you just mentioned it. I was going to ask you where you got your name from, Captain Frugal. So I guess it's because you are a frugal shopper or a gamer.
I'm just cheap all around. But you know, I figure if we watch how we spend our money, be a little more cautious, we can get more stuff.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I mean, I never run out and buy a video game system when it's brand new. I'm usually a generation behind, and I pick them all off when they're cheap.
You're like Bones and myself. Dan is the only one that is a day one shopper.
The only one that I can maybe say sort of switched that up a little bit was the Nintendo Switch, because my son has a Nintendo Switch, my daughter has a Switch, and my wife has a Switch. I don't, but they all have the Nintendo Switch, and it's like, wow, we've got a console that's actually current.
Yeah, they haven't really gone down in price that much yet. So if you want to play the games, you just gotta shell out the price right now.
Yeah, so those usually hit the bank a little bit, but usually those are like Christmas gifts for the kids when they get their games. So, my wife, I don't know what the heck she's buying, but I think she's downloading something. It's like, oh, I didn't know you had that game.
So my second question will be, Yeah, you said you're all over the place, but is there a go-to system or your favorite system of all time that you love the most?
I hate to say it, but no. I mean, I'm literally, every time I pick, I'm usually bouncing to different systems. I love the Dreamcast. I love the PlayStation 2. I think the PlayStation 3 had great games. I think the Wii U even had a lot of great games. I mean, I just beat Zombie U.
Underrated.
Like a month
Underrated.
or so ago. Yeah, I think each system has something good to offer.
You're right, and I'm the same. I'm just like you. I don't stick with one console. That's why I have so many.
Yeah. I almost thought my PlayStation 4 died today. I was like, no, and then I realized just the power cable got disconnected. So.
Oh my God.
Same incident with Dan with his mic today.
Yeah. All right, and my final question is: since you have a second career in music, are you a big fan of video game music? And is that something that you're into? And would you ever compose your own video game soundtracks?
I just started thinking about that because I used to do the band thing, and I did a lot of rock and metal, some blues. I did some acoustic and blues for my side projects for just me, but I think I've been starting to do them for YouTube videos. So on my videos, I've been putting some music that I've done on it, and I thought about that. It's like, I know a couple people that dabble in the video game market. Maybe I should talk to them and say, hey, you want me to dink around and do some music? Though I probably would want to wait a month or so because I'm still pretty rusty. Because it took a 6-year break. It's like get these hands to work right again and things, and I'm getting there, but still, and I'm still learning some of the new tech because I had a pretty good digital audio workstation and stuff before, but just 6 years time, really a ton has changed. So I'm learning.
Nice. Yeah, that's all the questions I have.
All right. So, do you have any questions for us?
Sure.
Shoot.
This one's to all of you, if you don't mind.
Nope.
What made you start playing video games? Just out of curiosity.
Go ahead, Bones. You can start.
Made me first start playing video games, that would be all the neighborhood kids getting a Nintendo and me not having one, so I was always at their house playing Nintendo. And that's literally what got me into gaming. I remember distinctively the little boy across the street had one. The 2 girls across the street had one. The girl right down 2 houses, she had one. The girl across from her, she had an Atari 2600, but that was up in the attic. Nobody ever used that. And then the other kids down at the other end had it. We were always the console behind. I did not get a console until the new one was coming out. Somebody was going to sell theirs cheaper. Then my family bought one from my family friend, and then I had Nintendo. But Super Nintendo is out now. So I was always behind on it. But at that point, it helped me acquire a lot of games at a cheaper price. Some of them I've gotten rid of over the years, some I have not. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into gaming. Everybody else had a Nintendo, and that was the thing to do. I remember sitting there for hours playing Mario and eating popcorn.
That's still a fantastic game to come back to today.
Yep.
Dan?
For me, you were talking about how you feel old. I'm one of the older people here, but my dad also got me into gaming. I remember I was, I think, 5 at the time, and I have 2 older sisters, and he's like, all right, guys, we're going to go to the store and pick up an Atari. And I didn't even know what it was, and so he took us all out and bought an Atari 2600. And so definitely my dad got me into gaming because he was the one who bought the system. And then I was hooked on it. I was playing it all through my childhood, and then there was the video game crash. And yeah, just funny how video games just went away for a few years, and then the new Nintendo came out, the NES came out, and nobody was really thinking, because video games were pretty much dead at that point, and nobody was really interested in. None of my friends were interested in getting back into video games. We were doing other stuff, and but I was like, no, I really want to try this NES. So I made my parents asked for that for my birthday, and they got me one. And I've been collecting ever since. Yeah, all the stuff I have is my childhood stuff. So I've been a video game fan since the beginning, I guess.
Awesome.
And for me, a lot of the kids in the neighborhood, kind of like Bones, they kind of influence you to play games. So I used to go to their house. I didn't really have anything myself until one day my dad went to a yard sale, picked up Atari 2600, and said, "Here you go." So that was my first console. That's what I played. And then it wasn't until way later that I got an NES for Christmas. And that was a secondhand NES. Like, nothing was brand new. And I was okay with that. And all the kids in the neighborhood would come in. Like, they would get tired of their games that they bought at $50. You know, I don't know if most people don't realize it, but even back then, in the 90s, it was a $50 game still. NES was a $50 game brand new. So my parents, the neighborhood kids would come and say, like, "Listen, I don't want this game anymore. What would you give me for it?" And my dad's a cheapskate and would be like, "Yo, I'll give you $5 for it." And a lot of my games are $5 games from the neighborhood. So I got a lot of my neighborhood kids in the area came to my house because they knew that, hey, yeah, my dad would give them money. And it might not have been much, but still gave them money, and they handed over the game. So my collection is also my childhood collection. I mean, I drastically increased it since then, but like, yeah, that's pretty much how I came about the whole gaming world, was with the Atari 2600. So, and I've been gaming pretty much ever since. I don't game per se right now because I just don't have time to game anymore with my everyday life. But like, eventually I will be able to sit on the couch and I will be playing the hell out of some games. And that the funny thing is, I haven't stopped collecting. So like, all the games that I'm getting, like, people are like already playing through and already beat, and I'm like, mine's still on the shrink wrap on the shelf. But I don't plan on keeping my games shrinked. They are definitely going to get played. I'm not a type of person that keeps their games wrapped. Every game that I have will be played at one point in time. Anything from the crappiest game I have, which we talked about that in a previous podcast, which was Babysitting Mama, all the way up to I have a daughter, okay? All the way up.
I understand.
I have two kids, but all the way up to like the most expensive title. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm playing everything, and that's what I plan to do. At least, once my kids are out, then I'll have a little bit more time. That's how I feel. Once my kids are, my son games, but my daughter doesn't. So my daughter she'll dabble. She'll play like Animal Crossing sometimes and stuff like that. But my son, he's like strict PC gamer, so
okay.
I can't get him off of that. Ever since we bought him the computer, nope. He wants nothing to do with Xbox anymore. That was his go-to console, Xbox. But yeah, that's my little back of how I got involved in gaming. Any other questions?
Well, if you don't mind, sure. I'd love to ask you guys another question. I always like to learn a little bit.
Yep.
Special things. So you guys were asking me about genres, and I know I'm terrible. I can't give you a certain one because I pretty much play about everything. So what is your guys' favorite genre of games to play?
I'll go first. Mine is typically platformers, but and my worst is RPGs. I'm the same. I can't stand. I can't really stand RPGs, like especially the older ones. I feel if you're playing a video game, you shouldn't be reading that much.
Well, I think I got jilted by a bad incident. So I was playing the original Final Fantasy, and I think I was something like 17 hours in. And my brother-in-law came over, and he decided, hey, I'm gonna check this out and put it in and erase my game. I was like, I am never playing this again. I've never touched that game again. I'm done.
I don't blame you. But platformers is like one of my favorite to go to. And like I said, the worst is like probably RPGs. Not that I won't play an RPG. It's just I don't know. It's too much work. I think you're playing a game. You're not trying to work at playing a game. At least I don't think you should be. It's a game. You're supposed to be having fun. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. Some people love it. Some people that's what they want. They love having fun playing RPGs. That's their thing. That's their way of having fun. But not me. Definitely not me. All right, go ahead, Bones.
Pretty much all over the place as well. I mean, there are some things that I don't really go to. I will not pick up a microphone game. I will play a guitar game once in a blue moon if it would strike me, but I don't really go to those. I'm more of a first-person shooter or a horror game. A beat-em-ups I like a lot.
Yeah, I think my daughter's favorite are the beat-em-ups.
Yeah, like those are my things. Final Fights for Super Nintendos. Like I have all of them. I love all of those. The Streets of Rage series, Sunset Riders. Those are all fun. Just have a good time with them games for me. But I do like other games that are a little more involving. Like I played through Black for the Xbox. That was fun. There's a whole bunch of other games. My favorite Zelda is Twilight Princess. Or no, Skyward Sword. Twilight Princess is the one I still need to try. Skyward Sword is the only one that I really, really want to play and can continue to play. The other ones I don't have any ambition to get back to once I start them. It's the same thing with Final Fantasies. I love Final Fantasy VII, but I don't have the time or the patience to continue grinding. I couldn't even do it with the new Zelda. I tried. Just, it's too many hours. I get bored after about 20 hours into a game.
So no RPGs for you then.
Yeah, it's you know, I like it, but it's like at one point or another I feel like I'm now wasting time for me for RPGs. I'd love to try Earthbound, but if I'm going to play Earthbound, I want the strategy guide there. Because I refuse to play that game without the guide because I want to be able to play that game the whole way through. But I don't have a strategy guide for Final Fantasy VII.
Sorry, Dan, you're the only one that likes RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I'd rather sit and play a game that I can run through, and maybe if I suck at it, which there's a high probability I like playing games I suck at, it could take me 3-4 days to beat the game. But I'm fine with that because it's not going to be straight. I still go to work. I got chores. You know, I got things I got to do. It's not hours 4 days straight, but it could take me a couple days after work playing, and I can end up beating the game, and I'm happy with that. You're not doing that with the Zelda game anymore. And there was other reasons I didn't want to continue to play that with the weapons breaking and shit, but we're not going to get into that. But all around, I'm pretty much all over the place. Like, ask these guys. I'll throw Barbie in, and I'll play Barbie. I really don't care what the game it really is. I'll throw in some of the worst games possible. I played Flintstones on the Master System. It's a god-awful game, but I played it. I mean, I like to at least say that I tried something if I have it. I know I got a huge backlog of tons of games, but eventually I'd like to get through mine as well. I just don't know if that'll ever be possible with the amount of games that I usually pick up.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I want to play all my games. Nothing's gonna collect dust.
Yep. I understand that. All mine are with the attention too. It's funny you mentioned that. Some of the stuff you mentioned with the beat 'em ups. That's one of my daughter's favorite things. She likes to play beat 'em ups when she wants to play a game with that. She'll go, Dad, let's do a beat 'em up. And I'll usually break out the arcade sticks and we'll go to town. I love a good set of arcade sticks, by the way. So and she loves them. She loves those classic quarter munchers.
Awesome.
And Dan?
Yeah, I mean, like Chris mentioned, I am an RPG fan. I like Japanese animation, anime, so Japanese JRPGs are my wheelhouse back in the day. A big fan of the Final Fantasy series and Dragon Quest series. Unfortunately, I don't have much time to play them today. I don't have any time to play them today, so I haven't put one in and played one for years. But yeah, definitely back in the day, I definitely liked RPGs. I didn't mind reading stuff. I didn't mind grinding away at levels and stuff like that. But I do like everything. Honestly, I like sports games. I like even like boring strategy simulation games where you're just looking at a map and watching stats move. Those type of games, I'll still play those. I will say the couple games the genres I don't really care for is I don't like first person shooters that much because I suck at them, and like it's not fun for me to play because I'll get taken out right away by other people. I'm the one that gets killed the most in those type of games, so that's not very fun for me. I think I just need to practice more of those games. But playing with kids and younger generation, it's hard because their reflexes are so much better than mine. So those games aren't as fun for me anymore. But other than that, yeah, I'll play anything. I even like these days I like quick games I can pick up and play for a few minutes. So I do like retro arcade games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders. Really things I can pick up really quick and play because those are fun and nostalgic for me.
Awesome.
Well, the same thing kind of goes with the RPGs for me. If I'm going to play an RPG, the only way that's enjoyable for me anymore is if I'm sitting there interacting with somebody else at the same time with it, and we're swapping off. Okay, you're going to run around a little bit, and now I'm going to take the controller and I'm going to run around a little bit.
Couch co-op.
Yeah, even though it's a one-player game, we're both trying to figure out where we're going, what's going on. I might be scrolling through looking for information on where we're actually supposed to head to next so that, you're not just running around aimlessly, because otherwise you're grinding for some of the time. That's more enjoyable with somebody, like Chris said, couch co-op. I'd be more interested in playing my RPGs. But that being said, we're now all adults. We're not kids. It's not, hey, John's going to be over at my house every day after school today. It's, if you're playing it, we tried that with Majora's Mask, me and my buddies. When one time we played, we all got together, we had a good time. Took forever to figure out what the hell we were doing. And when we finally beat the first part, it was like 3 hours later, they were like, all right, nobody's ever gotten able to get back together for the three of us to play it again. So it sat there idle ever since then. I have not gone any further with it. And I don't have the patience for it because of the timer that's going to be used in it. I don't like that. I want to feel like my back's against the wall. And unfortunately, without them here, I'm not going to go back to that game. And I know that.
I have to admit, I hate when games have a time limit. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that. Anytime all of a sudden a timer pops up, I'm like, oh, come on. I'm playing Superman Apocalypse or whatever, and next thing you know, I got a time limit to keep the thing from blowing up, and I got to put water on. I got a time limit to fly around with crappy controls. Give me a break.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Any other questions?
No, I think that was great.
You're good? Okay. Yeah. All right, so we'll do the last segment, Game of the Month. Dan, what's your Game of the Month?
One of the latest games I picked up was WarioWare for the Switch. Get it together, and that was great. That reminded me how great the original game was and how unique Nintendo can be original and stuff. So, definitely recommended WarioWare.
Bones, Game of the Month.
Well, I think I'm just gonna say it because I picked it up recently. I got it in the Retro Game Treasure box, but Captain America and the Avengers.
Hey, you stole Captain's idea.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm using it for him because he said it earlier. I just got that game.
I literally just got it last month's Retro Game Treasure. It's hilarious.
Which one did you get? The SNES, the NES, or
the Genesis one?
Perfect.
I have the NES one as well.
Yeah, the reason I like the main reason I like the Genesis one above the Super Nintendo one is because when you hit an enemy with the Super Nintendo, they flicker and you can't hit them again. You can't hurt them again for a little while. But on the Genesis, you can just keep pounding on them.
Nice. Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Captain, your Game of the Month.
I'm gonna go with something more recent enough for me, and I just beat it today. I picked it up and played it today, and that's Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. Because Halloween's horror season. I thought let's throw on the VR, and I love on rail shooters, and you throw that on rail shooter on rails literally because you're in a roller coaster. Really an idea shooting dead stuff.
Wow,
fantastic.
Have to think about picking that one up.
Oh, it's still cheap. Yeah. So, and wear your brown pants because there's some jump scares and stuff. But it's not a long game. It really isn't. I think you can beat it in like 3 hours or something like that. It didn't give me motion sickness or anything, and it was just dark, eerie. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot the crap out of stuff. It's just why I love it.
And my game of the month is Ristar, since some people hated on it a little bit earlier, just a little bit.
I didn't hate it. I haven't played it enough to know enough about it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll play it more. Than
I was being sarcastic, but it's
Are you sure you don't want to say babysitting mama?
Maybe next time I will.
Okay.
Actually, no, Bones, I did say babysitting mama. Remember that podcast we had? I did. I did. That was my game of the month, like a few podcasts ago. So, that will conclude the podcast. Thank you, Captain Frugal, for coming in and doing this podcast with us. It was a pleasure getting to know who you are.
Oh, and thanks for having me. It's always, I love meeting people in this community and getting to talk to them. This community is fantastic. It really is. I mean, I'm also a big comic book guy, so I know that a lot in the comic book community, but I tell you, the gaming community, it gets a lot of bad rap. You talk to people, get in there, there's some absolute amount of wonderful people in this community here. You guys are all awesome.
That is for sure. Thanks, Bones and Dan, as usual.
You're quite welcome. Yeah, I had a great time, Captain Frugal.
Yeah, great talking to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you all, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't blow, just leave. Later.
See you, YouTube.
See you.
Bye, everyone.